Hi there, I'm Simon Knight, Product Manager here at Testmo. Today I'm going to focus on a key report within the Testmo Reporting Center, the Milestone Summary and Metrics Report. This report's designed to help you report on testing activities and results associated with a specific milestone, such as a release, sprint, or product version. It allows you to aggregate all of the results of your testing activities, including test runs, sessions, and automation runs, into a single view, provided they are linked to the selected milestone. So when you open up the Milestone Summary and Metrics Report, you'll see the configuration panel here on the left. So this is organized into three main areas to give you all of the control that you need over your report. So first up, we've got this options section here, and that's going to control like the broad scope of your report. So you're going to need to select a single project for the report. Reports cannot include data from multiple projects at once. And then you're going to need to select a single milestone you wish to report on. So an important thing to note here is that if the selected milestone has child milestones, like this one, for example, the activities and results from those children will be included in the scope of the summary of the report, but not the details sections. So if you want detailed run, session, and automation run reporting for your milestone, then you need to select the milestone those entities are linked to as the focus of your milestone summary and metrics report. So in this case, rather than selecting the parent milestone, I'm going to select the sprint for which I actually want to carry out my report. Next up, the content section allows you to control how much information is included in the report. So if I go ahead and generate my report now with all of this content selected, then basically what I've got here is the sort of milestone summary area here at the top. And I've got the run and session status chart here. If there are sub milestones, which there aren't in this case, but if I choose a milestone with sub milestones, then I'd be able to control whether or not those things are displayed by checking or unchecking this checkbox. Let's go back to my sprint report. I've also got my run and session status chart, which I pointed to previously, aggregating the results of all my runs and sessions for the milestone I've selected. I've got my automation status chart, which I can display or not according to this control here. And that's going to give me the latest results for the automation runs that are associated with the milestone. So I can see I've got some greens and I've got a few failing runs based on the latest result for the date on which this report was generated. And I've also got my run and session progress chart, which is gonna show me how I'm progressing with my testing based on my ideal forecast, completed to-dos, remaining to-dos, and remaining effort. Below those, you can choose to include detailed information about the individual test runs, sessions, and automation runs which are linked to the milestone, and you can start to see some of that information down here. For each of the detailed content section, so the test runs, sessions, and automation runs, you've got some additional options. You can control which items to include using drop downs. So for test runs and sessions, you can choose whether to include all runs, all active runs, all closed runs, or whether you want to apply a filter using controls that you'll be familiar with from elsewhere within Testmo. And the same for sessions as well. You can choose all sessions, all active sessions, all closed sessions, or again, apply a filter. For automation runs, you can choose to display all of your runs, or again, to apply a filter. And for each of the detailed areas of the report, you can choose whether to display that information in card form. So cards contain more detailed information about each specific entity, including a detailed breakdown of the various statuses that are associated with the test run. In this case, the status, the state, the contributors to the entity, and additional information such as the configuration or any tags that are associated again with the test run in this instance. But if I uncheck that and recheck and show statuses instead, then you can see a similar level of information on the session cards as well. So the statuses and the various sort of metadata associated with those things. Additionally, for each detailed section, you can set a limitation as to the maximum number of runs, sessions, or automation runs that are displayed in the report. So once you've configured your options according to your preferences, and just to note real quickly that if there's a lot of runs, sessions, or automation runs associated with your report, then using cards, as I've already mentioned, provides a lot of additional detail, but it can make the report quite long as well, obviously, depending on how many of these things you've got associated with your milestones. So if you want a more simplified perspective on that information, then you can change the display as option to list for any or each of the entities, and then generate the report, and then that's going to give you like a slightly different perspective on your test runs with just the name of the run, the current state, and the status of your runs or your sessions. And the same thing for your automation runs as well, with a little bit more information relating to the source, the timing, and the time date and the date stamp associated with your run. So once you've configured your options, you can click the generate button, as I've already been doing. And if you change anything or simply want to refresh the report to get the very latest data, then you can do that by clicking the refresh button here at the top. The report updates in real time, allowing for a fast feedback loop as you adjust your settings. So if you manage your testing around releases, you can create a milestone specifically for your release. So an example of that is here, release 3.0. And then you're going to want to link all of your relevant test runs, sessions, and automation runs that are part of your release directly to your release milestone. So under here, you can see that I've got a bunch of sub milestones actually associated with this release, and I'll come to those in a little while. But the important thing to note is that you would want to link any relevant test runs, sessions, and automation runs that are associated with your release directly to your release milestone. And you can do this when creating or editing your runs and sessions. So for example, here I can see that this session is directly linked to my release milestone. And in a similar fashion, I'll have automation runs. Well, not this specific one, but if I go back to the milestone itself, then I should be able to see that there are runs here which are directly linked to the release milestone. So once you've set up a milestone and you've configured it as a release or any other type of milestone that you want to track stuff against, but in this example we're speaking specifically to the release type. Once you've done that, you can go to your milestone summary and metrics report view, choose your project and the milestone that you're specifically interested in. In the content section, configure the report to include any information you want to see in your release report. So for a full view, you might wish to leave the summary, all charts, and the detailed sections for runs, sessions, and automation. You may wish to choose to display them as cards for maximum detail, or provide more of a summary level view depending on the number of those things in your milestone, as I've already pointed to. And then click the generate button, and you're going to be able to see a comprehensive overview of all of the test runs, all of the sessions, and all of the automation runs that are associated with your release. The second example that I pointed to in the documentation is for sprint-based testing. And, in a similar way, you're just going to need to go to your project, create a milestone for your sprint, and you can do that in Testmo just by choosing milestone type, sprint. You can associate it with a parent release if you wish to do so, but you don't have to. This could be a parent milestone in its own right, in which case this field would be empty. And again, the prerequisite here is simply going to be that your runs, sessions, and automation runs associated with your sprint work, the testing activities that you've performed during the course of your sprint, are linked to that milestone. So again, in the case of a run, you can do that simply by setting the milestone field to point at the relevant milestone. So in this case, sprint 3. And then again, go to the milestone summary and metrics, report view. Select the appropriate project and the milestone you want to report on, the sprint milestone, in this case, sprint 3. Change your settings as needed. So, I mean, for example, if you only wanted to report on automation for your sprint, then you could uncheck your test runs and sessions, hit the generate button, and then there you go. You've got a complete automation testing report for your sprint. And obviously, if you want to include manual test runs or exploratory session-based testing, then you can include those things as well. Once your report is generated, once you're kind of happy with the content, then you can apply some additional settings should you wish to do so to modify the view settings. So you can choose whether or not to include links to the various entities inside of the report. So if you're sharing this with folk outside of your immediate team who perhaps don't have access to Testmo to be able to view that stuff, then just removing those links might be worthwhile. If you don't want to include the header, then yeah, you can remove that as well. So it just points to the sprint rather than including the report title. That's absolutely fine. You've got control over that. And equally, you can remove the Testmo branded footer should you wish to do so by just changing that setting accordingly. So all of the things are completely under your control. And once you're completely happy with the content of the report, made any final adjustments, you can simply click the print and PDF button at the top, which will allow you to generate a nice extract of the report, which you can ideally save to PDF by carrying out the necessary actions depending on your browser and operating system. So this will save the report to a PDF for me, or if you really need to, obviously you can send that to a printer for a hard copy. So that's my demonstration of the report. Milestone summary and metrics report is a powerful addition to Testmo's new reporting center. I'm sure you'll agree, helping you to gain deep insights into your release and sprint testing efforts. As I mentioned, it's part of the new reporting center, which we're committed to enhancing with further reports and features based on your feedback. We do appreciate and listen to all of your feedback, so thanks very much for watching this video. Please try out the new reporting center and share any thoughts you have with us. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video.